Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be doing something that I honestly feel like I should have done at the start of the channel, but basically I'm going to be discussing my ults and like groups I stan and collecting rules, specifically talking about like the groups I collect. I feel like I'm out of the like honeymoon phase of K-pop and I really need to like start prioritizing what I really want to collect, and I think the best way to do that is to make a video about it since I do put my collection on my channel. And I feel like this might be a really great way for others to maybe sit down and think about their collection and what they want to prioritize as well. And I think this would be a great introduction video for anyone who is new to my channel and wants to know who I collect. So some disclaimers before I begin. I'm a really big proponent of not collecting every single thing ever. Like if I don't like something, then I won't collect it. Like if there's a photo card that I think is not cute, then I just won't get it. Or if the album packaging isn't like cute to me, or if I don't like the tracks on an album, like that is old, then I won't buy it. Simple as that. So we'll go in order of like my ults of ults to my ults, my regular ults, to the groups I stan, to the groups that I'm thinking of collecting, and then yeah. So my first number one ults of ult is EXO. I collect mostly everything for them. I collect every version of every group album. I collect almost every version of subunit albums. Like I don't like the What a Life packaging, so I only have one version of it. And for solos, I collect the ones that I particularly enjoy, and I only collect some versions. Like for Baekhyun's Delight, I only have 2 because they're really big, and I felt like 4 is unnecessary. And with Kai, he also has 4, and I'm only gonna get 2 of them, and yeah. EXO photo cards, I collect Suho's album photo cards as well as his solo cards, and I only collect the Korean versions of the cards. I also collect Xiumin's CBX photo cards. Whenever he has a solo, I will also collect those cards. And then for Don't Fight the Feeling, I collected Xiumin and Chanyeol. In terms of like ulting biases, my ult bias is Chanyeol, but I collected Suho's photo cards because when I first bought a lot of EXO albums, I had pulled Suho a lot, and Suho is one of my biases. Also, a lot of Suho cards are like consistently cute. I feel like Chanyeol has a couple questionable ones, but I do have big intentions of going back and collecting Chanyeol. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I do plan on getting started on that maybe towards the beginning of next year while he's still like enlisted. Because I don't have all of EXO's albums, I kind of want to like go back and buy a lot of the ones I'm missing, and then I can trade those cards for Chanyeol. So basically, in conclusion, I collect all their albums, a lot of solos, Suho's Korean album photo cards and solo cards, and then Xiumin for CBX and solo, and then Chanyeol is my ult. So next ult of ults is Loona, and they're probably the group with the least amount of rules or like things that I collect, simply because I feel like I joined the Loona hype a little too late for me to collect everything. Like they have so many physical albums because of like their whole pre-debut project. But basically for now, I have 1 solo for my top 3 biases, and then I have the repacks. Like I have Love and Evil and Max and Match, and then YYYY doesn't have a repack, so I just have YYYY's 1 album. And then for everything post debut on, I want to collect every regular version, so not the limited ones, because no, simply no. But yeah, those are my plans for now. I want to go back and get maybe like my second biases in each subunit as well as Yeojin, but haven't gotten that far yet with all the releases that have happened. For photo cards, I collect Olivia Haye and only Olivia Haye. I was really considering adding Hassel to my collection, but the photo card prices are not like as low as the Midnight ones were, mostly because the album itself is really expensive. So yeah, no Hassel. Don't think I'll ever collect Hassel. Olivia Haye's already a struggle as it is. So my last ults of ults is NCT Dream, but we'll talk about all the units because I do ult NCT as a whole. But firstly, NCT Dream. I collect every version of all their albums. You should check out my completing NCT Dream album collection. NCT Dream. But yes, I collect all their albums, and for photo cards, I am currently collecting OT7, and it's honestly not going as bad as I thought I would be doing right now. It's a very like slow growing, like I'm not rushing too hard, especially since they just came back. Like, I have some time to work on it before they come back again. And I won't be collecting any like 2020 or 2018 stuff, because like collecting that stuff for my biases, like my non-dream biases, was already a struggle as it is, and I don't feel like doing that again for 7 more people. So then for 127, I again collect all versions of every album, and I'm actually working on completing my 127 album collection, so stay tuned for that video. That'll be fun. For photo cards, I collect Jungwoo. Jungwoo is my 127 bias. And then I want to add Mark to that, but I don't think that will be happening anytime soon, considering they're coming back in a week. Literally a week. Stickers coming out in a week, guys. They're coming back in a week, and then of course they're gonna repack it, so I'll probably want to get started on Mark for a while. At the very least, I want to get like a 9-pocket page full of his 127 cards. I have 2 of them right now, so we only need 7 more. For wavy, I collect every version of every album. I collect Yang Yang's photo cards. I would consider Yang Yang to be like my ult and my NCT bias overall. So I do kind of want to expand his collection a little bit more to include like non-album stuff, but not too much. My rule is going to be like from the point that I determined him to be my ult forward, and only like selfie cards. So like none of the like standee holo cards or any like random merch that SM sells and thinks that they can get my money out of me. They can't. Well, they can, but not through Yang Yang. That's my rules for NCT in general. Collect OT7 photo cards, Jungwoo photo cards, Yang Yang photo cards, with the occasional non-album, and then all versions of every album from all the units so far. I can't say the same for any future units that they plan on doing, but for the 3 that exist right now, I collect every version of every album. So now we're getting into like regular ults, and our first one there is Red Velvet. Red Velvet was my first ult group, and I still like hold them very dearly to my heart. So yeah, I collect every version of every group album and the sub-unit albums. I don't really have any plans of getting Wendy or Joy solos, but if Seulgi has a solo, then I'll collect hers. And if you couldn't tell, Seulgi is my #1 bias in Red Velvet, and she's one of my ults. She's very important to me. She's literally, I'm pretty sure at the moment of uploading this, she is my profile picture on my YouTube channel. She is my profile picture on Instagram. You feel me? Like she is the face of me, my K-pop stuff. So I've always wanted to like expand my collection for her. Oh yeah, I collect her photo cards. I forgot to add that. I collect her photo cards. I don't collect anything from the Monster, and I don't collect Finale, simply because like Monster's not that expensive, but Finale is, so definitely not collecting Finale. And then Monster like didn't interest me enough, considering I was already like working really hard on the mainline collection, because Red Velvet is a really expensive group to collect. But yeah, I collect her photo cards, and I wanted to expand my collection with her a little bit more since she is so important to me. So I actually bought her Ujiwa for the fan meet, and I kind of want to like collect those from now on. Hopefully there will be lots of Ujiwas for me to collect at concerts and stuff, guys. But yeah, I'm really excited. I actually really like Ujiwas. Like every time I see somebody with an Ujiwa, I'm like, damn, I kind of want one. And now I have one on the way. The last of my ults is i-dle or i-dle. They were also one of my first ults. I've been standing since debut, so like, you know, those are my girlies. Especially now, if you know, you know, those are my girlies. So I collect all the versions of all their albums, and I have Soyeon's solo, and I will continue on that trajectory. As of right now, it really depends on how the next comeback goes, how I feel about it, considering the loss, but we'll see. And I do collect Soyeon, Sujin, and Miyeon. Soyeon, Sujin, and Miyeon. I collect photo cards, with Sujin being one of my like former ult biases. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really make much progress on my Sujin collection. She was kind of hard to collect, so I might like drop it, but I'm not gonna sell anything. I'll just keep them as like memorabilia. But moving forward, obviously I'm going to be collecting Soyeon and Miyeon. I have small idea of collecting another member, but I'm not going to say anything until the comeback. So those are all of my current ults. So EXO, Loona, NCT, Red Velvet, i-dle. And now we can move on to groups that I just like regularly stan and collect. We will start off with exid. Exid was actually a former alt, but I feel like since they don't make music together anymore, I didn't really want to keep them on my alt list because, you know, they're just inactive. But if they were to ever release another album, I will be collecting all versions of all their albums. My first K-pop album I ever bought was actually We by exid because I really wanted something from them before they disbanded. And look where we are now. Next we have Twice, and this is where things actually start to change. So I collect one version of every Twice album from Fancy You on, because that's when I started to like really stan and get into them. And I collect Momo's photo cards, and I would consider Momo an old bias. Even though Twice is not an old group, I would consider Momo my old. Next we have aespa, and I can't lie to you guys, I will probably be ulting aespa once they release more music. I feel like I can't ult them when they have 2 songs. Well, technically they have 3, but I say 2 because the 2 are the ones I like. But I would say Next Level is the best song, K-pop song released this year. And if you don't agree, then you are boring. And then I love Black Mamba as well. So yeah, I really do love the girlies. I will be collecting all versions of all their albums whenever they do release something. And as of right now, I clicked Karina. I've been collecting her like non-album stuff, and I feel like I will continue on that path once they release more things. When albums come out, depending on the details and the pricing of aespa, I might also collect Giselle, but we'll have to wait and see because the prices for aespa right now with their non-album stuff is really expensive. So I could see them having really expensive album photo cards despite there being no need for it. Drop your prices, guys. It's really never that serious. Next we have Itzy, and for Itzy I collect one version of all their albums, but if like they have 2 versions, I'll just get both. Like for It's Icy, I want to get the other one. And for their new release that's coming out soon, I'm going to be getting the group cover and Yeji's cover. Yeji's my bias. I collect her photo cards, but it's also honestly like a really slow growing thing. Like I have no cards for Wannabe yet, and I only have 2 icy cards. Everything else is done though. So honestly, like I'm making decent progress, but those 2 Icy and Wannabe are really bad. But next is TXT. So again, I collect one version of all their albums from Eternity on, because I would say from Blue Hour on, but like Eternity is my favorite album, so like I kind of need Eternity, but I'm not really interested in getting the first 2. So from Eternity on, and I might get both versions if they have 2. So like for Fighter Escape and for Eternity, I might get the other versions, but for right now, I haven't gotten them yet. It's actually really funny because when I was originally creating the script for this video, I was like, I might collect Taehan. Might collect Taehan's photo cards. I officially decided that I will be. By officially decided, I mean that I put a template on my Instagram. That's when I officially declare them as a thing I will collect. So yeah, I do collect Taehan's photo cards, I guess. But I'm only gonna collect from Blue Hour on, because that's when they started doing like real legitimate photo cards. The other ones were like the square. They didn't look like real photo cards, you know, like real selfie cards. Yeah, so from Blue Hour on, I will be collecting. So the last group that I collect, that I stan and collect, is weki. And like weki have not made a comeback in literal years, but when they do, I will be collecting one version of their album. But I'm not gonna lie, considering the trajectory they're on, I feel like I should just buy all versions of their album, because they need to see that people still like them, you know? So hit me up for a weki giveaway, because I really just want to show out and make sure they recognize that they are very much loved and they should make more frequent comebacks. And I don't collect any photo cards for them. If I were to, it would be Yujong, and the like disparity in popularity in weki is really large, so it's hard to collect. It's hard to buy, like to trade for Yujong. Now we can go through my soloists. So first we have Taemin. I would say Taemin is one of my ults as well. I love him. I collect one version of all his solo albums. That's all there is to say. I do really enjoy Shinee. I wouldn't say that I like ult them. I mean, not ult them, but like stan them. But I do really enjoy Shinee, so I really want to start expanding my Shinee collection a little bit. I do have Don't Call Me. I want to get more Junghyun solos, and I want to get more shinee albums, like of the ones I particularly enjoy, like Odd or Married to the Music. Probably Story of Light. Yeah. Second soloist we have is Hyuna. Hyuna was one of my first K-pop songs ever, like when she made Troublemaker. So I feel like it's only right that I collect her. So I have like a couple miscellaneous things, and I have her most recent, like I'm Not Cool. And I'm probably gonna keep up with the one version of every release that she does. I really don't have any interest in getting her subunit with Dawn though. So we'll see. Probably just her like alone stuff, her solo stuff. Next we have Sunmi. Actually love Sunmi. I don't really talk about her that much, but I really do enjoy her. And I have Warning, so I'm gonna keep up from Warning on with her solo stuff. Like she literally, like before Warning it was Full Moon. Like there's not much to even really keep up with. She just released 1/6. I will be getting that. Stay tuned. And the last soloist I want to talk about is a new soloist, is eunbi, from former i-dle member. I adore her. Like she was my i-dle bias. Not that I really stand i-dle, but like, you know, if I had to choose, if you asked me who I liked in i-dle, I would say eunbi. So I'm going to be buying one version of her solo albums from her debut one, because I really love Door. Now into some groups that I'm considering picking up. So first we have wjsn. I love wjsn. I just haven't really found a break in like all of the releases of all the groups I just listed in order to go back and start collecting backwards for them. I do have both versions of wjsn the Black, and if they are to release an album before I go back, I will be collecting one version per release. Second we have stayc girls. It wasn't supposed to come to this. I just had an impulse decision last night that I wanted to get Stereotype and that I could find ASAP for cheap on the internet. And I just want one Jian photo card. Maybe two, maybe three. I don't know. I want her cards. Lastly, we have a group that hasn't even debuted yet, but it is the Girls Planet 999 group. I have been watching the show and I do have like really strong feelings for my top favorite members, and a lot of the ones that I like actually made it to the next round through the first eliminations, which is not that big of a feat considering they have to do another round and another round. But we're here. If any of my favorites make it through and if their music is good, then I will be standing and collecting. I know that we don't really have much leads on anything right now. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say that I will collect all versions of all their albums and photo cards for my favorite members. I will not be saying my favorite members because I feel like if I do and they don't get in, I'm gonna look stupid in 5 years. But comment down below if you'd be interested in hearing my opinions on Girls Planet 999. I was gonna like make videos about it, but then I just felt like I didn't pay attention enough to, there's 99 girls, I can't pay attention to that many people. But now that they've like eliminated some people, I feel like it's easier for me to like know more of them and know more about them in general. So as we're approaching the end, I do want to say that this is not a comprehensive list of all the groups I stan. I'm a big proponent of like, you don't have to collect every group that you stan. In fact, I feel like it's more admirable if you support them not just by buying their albums. Like there's so many other ways to support a group. Actually, let me know down below if you'd be interested in seeing a video where I talk about the groups that I do stan but don't collect, or like the reasons why I don't collect certain groups. I feel like that would be fun. That is the end of the video. Let me know down below if you've ever had a crisis with like your alt list and like what you did to really define an alt for you. I would say that my definition of an alt is a group that I care about year round, like not just when they have a comeback, but I still think about them and listen to their music when they are in a downtime. Considering EXO is my #1, I think that rule is pretty good. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if I stan any groups that you also stan. We can have fun.